I'm spending a day with Sony's megapixel monster, the A7R2, testing out my three lenses, the Canon 70-200 f4L, Sigma 24mm 1.4 and the FE50 1.8. First, let's compare the A7R2 and the A7 II. When you look at both, you will hardly notice any difference except of the A7R2 logo, which is labeled on the left of the camera. When we take a closer look, we can see that the A7R2 has a lock button for the mode dial, which is nice to have. Ergonomically, both are pretty much the same. If you have been working with the A7 II, you will feel right at home with the A7R2 as well. First, let's see some images shot with the Sigma 24mm 1.4 on the A7R2 using the Sigma MC11 adapter. You get amazing detail and the Sigma lens can deliver very good resolution. The A7R2 can also shoot 4K video internal with S-Log 2 and 3. This was shot using the Canon 70-200 f4L handheld, and as you can see, the internal stabilization worked very good, even with the adapted lens using the Sigma MC11 adapter. This little grasshopper here was so tiny that you really would need a macro lens normally. But as you can see with the Sigma lens and the A7R2's 42 megapixels, you can zoom so close that it almost looks like shot with a macro lens. The A7R2 is also amazing for landscapes, no doubt about that. The more megapixels you have, the more detail your landscape photos will have, and also the shadow recovery and dynamic range on the A7R2 is the best of the best you can get right now. Now let's see some results with the FE50 This little lens focus is not the fastest, but it focuses a bit faster on the A7R2. As you can see, even the 51.8 has a lot of resolution to offer using it on the A7R2. During the day I've shot photos and 4K video. I had absolutely no complaints. If there was one thing, then I would say that the internal processing is rather slow, especially if you shoot uncompressed 42 megapixel RAWs with the A7R2. So the first thing I did is to turn the image preview off in the camera. The A7R2 is not a fast camera by any means. If you want that with 42 megapixel, you really should take a look at the newly announced Sony A99 II.